So I wanted to share my experience going to the Richmond Sector Qualifier. It was a beautiful day to go to the Sector Qualifier, and it was held on April 25th, no, April 26th and 27th in Richmond, Virginia. I was only able to make it to Sunday, so I did not get to participate in the main event. However, I did find out later that they did make a second premiere, like a promo tournament on Sunday, which was a little bit cheaper than the main event. It was about $50 plus processing fee, so it was like around $55. In that tournament, it was best of 4 rounds, and you got to get the promos that they handed out. Not all the promos. I did not get the Obi-Wan promo, and I think a game ad or something else. But either way, I was kind of glad that I was able to participate in some kind of tournament on the sector qualifier. And on top of the main event, I was able to participate also in a draft event, an on-demand draft event. So it was nice to actually have that option. You know, one thing going into the sector qualifier, I did not know that it was an open event where you can just go and participate in anything you wanted. I found that out actually 2 weeks before going to Richmond, that this type of event, you could just walk in if you're just a spectator and just want to see games. They have on-demand events, so you don't have to pay to go in. You could just pay for any event that you want to participate in. I'm glad that I was able to find that out through the community. Some of the guys that I went to go play with a few weeks ago let me know, and that just made everything nice because, you know, I thought I was going to miss out on this sector qualifier or a sector qualifier because most likely I won't be able to make it to Vegas or Minneapolis. However, Richmond, being on the East Coast, made it more accessible to be able to get there. And I'm glad that I was able to participate at least one day. So when we got there fairly early because the first tournament started at 9. And we walked in around, I think it was around like 8:30. We walked in and we had this big open hall. You know, it wasn't nothing too spectacular in the sense like grandiose or anything big. Maybe later on there will be more flashy things, but as you walk in, you know, you see a bunch of tables, see a lot of people talking, you know, with their friends or meeting new people. And once you walk in, you have these two banners with Star Wars Unlimited. I think one was a Starhawk. I forgot what the other one was. But then you have the rules of the tournament. It was hosted by Star City Games. And then once you walk in, to the left, there was one lone retailer. This big open space with, you know, one retailer. Maybe in the future they'll have more. However, this retailer did get a lot of business, being the only one there. Was able to sell a lot of product, and I could say that their pricing was definitely fair. I got a pre-release box for $20, which is nice. They were selling game mat holders for like $4. Game sleeves, you know, very unique hollow game sleeves for like $8. And they were selling singles too. If you needed singles for the game, they had singles readily available. I think they also had maybe a box of bulk also. So it was nice to actually have an option there to get booster box, for example. It was $75. So it was definitely either TCG player or a little bit under TCG player. I'm sure they wanted to get rid of a lot of stuff, you know, sell product and get some merch going. And then just kept exploring before the main event started. Right on the right side of the hall was the prize wall. The prize wall, you know, it was a big topic of conversation after Denver. And they did make a lot of modifications. So the prize wall is just a big, you know, like a bunch of tables set up with all the prizes laid out. It's nothing like the prize wall that you'll see like at Dave & Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese. You know, when you're a kid, you remember seeing like a big wall full of like prizes and cool stuff to buy or to get with your tickets. Nothing like that yet. You know, eventually when the game gets more popular, you know, there'll be more merch, more stuff to collect, probably a lot of promos from this sector qualifier might actually transfer over to, you know, future events, you know, whatever's left over. I was keeping an eye on a mat that I wanted, the Scrambled Fighters mat with the sector qualifier logo. That's the one I wanted to get that day. Spoiler alert, I did not get it. I'll explain my demise of getting that later. But either way, they did have convention exclusive mats. They did have deck pods, sleeves, pins, regular mats, and they adjusted the prices a lot. They adjusted the prices, which is nice. A lot of the prizes were more accessible if you weren't able to get, some of the bigger stuff, but you can walk away with something, which is nice. The main event started at 9. Well, it started a little bit later because first they set everybody for like a meet and greet type of thing where you sit down for like maybe 10 minutes and just talk with people, and then eventually the first round started. It was fun. I could say it was fun. I liked playing in this big event. It was pretty overwhelming just because I've never been to an event like this, but it was fun just playing, right? But also getting to know people and getting to know people from different areas. Met someone from New York, met someone from South Carolina and North Carolina. So a lot of people traveled from different places. Pennsylvania, for example, Pittsburgh. So there were a lot of people that traveled from all over the East Coast coming to Richmond, which is pretty nice. My first game I won, and with this event, if you win one game at least in the 4 rounds, you will get 400 tickets. And I won my first round, so I got 400 tickets. I versed a Dooku yellow deck. This person was from South Carolina. He was a nice gentleman. We talked a lot after our game, and he was very nice. Very helpful. I would forget things to do, and he casually playing. There was no type of pressure or anything like that. It was very friendly, and I enjoyed that. That was my only win, actually. The next 3 rounds, I went up against my second round. He was a gentleman from New York, and he was playing Luke Red, so I lost in that one. And by the way, I was playing Cad Tarkentown, and I'll explain a little bit why I decided to play Cad Tarkentown. And then my third round was Sabine Green, and obviously Sabine Green is hard to compete with. No, sorry, it was Sabine Red. It was Sabine Red, because I do remember specifically asking him if he has aggression in that deck, and he said yes, he has aggression. So Sabine Red was my third match. In my fourth match, I thought I would get him because he was playing Asajj. I forgot the color of the base, green or yellow, but he was playing Asajj, and I was, I had a unit IG-2000 in my CAD deck that could take out a lot of the droids that he was making, but he would give experience tokens to the droids, so it was hard to get rid of those droids whenever he would buff them up. So those were my 4 matches, and I decided to play CAD Tarkentown because I felt like I usually don't like to play meta decks. That's just something that I feel, it's part of the game. I understand. Meta decks is one of those things that with a trading card game, it's unavoidable. There are always going to be decks that are better than others. But I like kind of more thematic decks. I like going against the current and just trying some new things out. But I realized that if I wanted to be competitive in this type of scene, if I wanted to get tickets, if I wanted to get, that cool mat that I was eyeing, I needed to get something more competitive. So I had a Cad Bane deck for a while, since set 2, and I like the way Cad plays. So I decided to do Cad Tarkentown just because it is one of those decks that can get you ahead in the tournament. It is a pretty aggressive mid-level type of deck. It's not as fast as Sabine, but there are some ways to kind of like mitigate some of that aggressiveness, maybe with McClunky or some other things to just put on pressure. Either way, I had fun. I enjoyed, even though I lost most of my games in that tournament. I still was able to secure 400 tickets. Now getting to the mat, that cost 1,000 tickets, so I was 600 away. After the main event, we decided to do an on-demand draft. On-demand draft went fine. I like draft. It's one of my favorite formats. It's fun to trying to make a deck quickly. So in that match, I also won 1 out of 3. It was a draft, the best of 1, 3 rounds. I lost 2 rounds and only won 1. But It is what it is. At least with that draft, you got 100 tickets to get to participate. Then you get another 100 per win, so you can get a max of 400 tickets in the draft. My first one, I went up against brain fart moment. Yeah, my first match, I forgot who I versed. That's the one I actually won. I think it was Wedge. He was playing Wedge. I was playing Von Reg Yellow, and my first match went pretty well. My second match was against Luke, I think. And my third match, once again, was against another Von Reg, the same base, Von Reg Yellow. So it was Von Reg Yellow. So my second match, I lost against Luke. Once he put Luke on a fighter or whatever it was, I forgot what he put it on. It was too crazy tough to beat. So he guaranteed that win. And actually, one of the guys that I played was from the Epic Action SWU SWU podcast. Met him, and Raul is one of the guys that I know also from local games. So I met some of the guys from that podcast. And then my final match was with Von Reg Yellow. I had Von Reg Yellow as a mirror match, and that game was tight. It was neck and neck, and I did not secure the win. I was 1 point away from winning. 1 point away. 29-30. It was rough. It was rough, but it was fun nonetheless. I was gonna get out of that tournament 700 tickets or 800 tickets. That was a goal. My friend, I had 200 tickets. He was gonna give me the 200. We traded for a legendary card that I had, but unfortunately, I was not able to get to 1,000 tickets. Only got to 900. It is what it is. I did try to kind of ask the prize person that was there. I was trying to be nice and be like, hey, I know you probably get asked this a lot, but is there any way you can kind of get away with just giving me a mat for 900 tickets instead of 1,000? And she was nice about it, and she couldn't do it, unfortunately. But it doesn't hurt to ask, and all I can say is no. So figured I ask. Those are the two events we did. And it took, we got that at 8:30, and we left around 4 o'clock. So I think overall my experience with the Richmond Sector Qualifier for one day was nice. The only con I would say, or two things that I think would make it better. The pricing was better. I think eventually the prize wall will get bigger. It'll get more lavish, I guess you could say, because I can kind of say that I feel like it needs to be a little bit more grandiose feeling, something to make it feel more epic, I think. And I know with time, I think maybe there'll be more signage, more something, to make it feel more grandiose. The other thing I think could have been better was the time it took between rounds. I think after finishing a round, we would sit around maybe for 15 minutes waiting, maybe 10 minutes for the match to end, and then you would wait 20-30 minutes for the next round to start. I think just waiting for the next round to start, maybe we wasted an hour of time, maybe an hour and 15, just waiting around. That's my only thing. I think the tournament took from 9:20 is when it started, to about noon, 12:30. We started the draft around 1:30. If it was a little bit longer or a little bit faster, I think we probably could have squeezed in another tournament. But either way, it was a good experience. Oh, and one more thing before I forget. Food, concessions. Usually with these big events and convention centers, the place charges whatever they charge. They had food, they had drinks, but I wouldn't see a lot of people going to get some of the food because honestly, the food was overpriced. I got a bottle of water and I got a bag of trail mix, normal things you get like at a convenience store. And it cost me $7.50, something like that. It was not cheap for a bottle of water and trail mix, let me tell you that. So, however, if you're hungry and you need a snack, that's just the way to go. Yeah, overall, it was a good experience. Those are my only three things. The time waiting, the concessions, and the prize wall thing is, it's small, but it's not like a big deal. Eventually I know the prize wall will get bigger, but I do appreciate that at least you walked with something away. Even if you got 100 tickets, you still can get a booster pack because the booster packs just cost 100. Let me just show you. I was able to get two things. I got this Star Wars Unlimited t-shirt. Got the logo there. And then it has like the big logo in the back too. I like the t-shirt. I think the t-shirts were like more expensive in Denver. I made a video on that and how like the prize wall was so expensive. T-shirts were not worth it, but this t-shirt was 500 tickets. So it's not bad. This is my essentially my new uniform for the videos. For 200 tickets, I got this pin, the command pin. I don't know why I said pinned. That'll be added to my collection of other pins. I have the villainy pin and the aggression pin. You can get all the pins. I probably could have got all the pins. Well, I was 100 tickets short to get all the pins because there were 200 each. Also, let me show you here the promos from this event. I didn't get the Obi-Wan promo, which was nice, and there was the store that was there was selling the Obi-Wan promo for like $150, $160, which is the market value right now. Got Admiral Akbar, which is a rare foil card there. Someone can tell me what that P25 stands for. I'm not sure what the P25 stands for, but this is number 39 out of I'm not sure how many. We have Agent Callus. Agent Callus, another rare. I do not like the artwork in this card. The face looks weird, but it's just a style. Got Red 3. Got Red 3. These are all from set 1, by the way. Spark of Rebellion. The Chewbacca, our only uncommon. The Chewbacca. Also, not a fan of that art, but you know, it's a different style. And then we have Han Solo, the rare card from Spark of Rebellion. Yeah, so those are the promos from that event. So before we end the video, let's just open up the 6 packs that I got from that pre-release box. And for $20, you know, you can't really beat that price. It's not bad. You know, for 20 bucks you get 6 packs. That's pretty good. Less than $5 a pack, which is really nice. So I get some. Oh, nice. We got a hyperspace covering the wing. Common. Alright. Dengar. I do appreciate that that store was there. If you needed cards, you know, they had a lot of cards available. Oh, got a Starhawk. Starhawk Legendary. Nice. Legendary in our first pack. Alright, let's go to the next one. There were a lot of people also that had like t-shirts from their different teams. You know, they get together and they practice or whatever it is. Maybe they do podcasting. But yeah, there are a lot of people with their t-shirts from their different regions, different areas representing. So, you know, a lot of people had fun and they were, you know, take it serious in the sense like just being together, you know, and enjoying the game, playing together. Got thermal oscillators are rare. And then, oh, nice. A foil Sabine's Masterpiece. Nice. Good card, by the way. Sabine's Masterpiece. Would I do it again? Definitely. I would definitely do another sector qualifier. I'd do a regional too, or, you know, even the big event, the Galactic Championship. You know, the tricky part is location. You know, the fact that this was on the East Coast made it easier for me to get there. West Coast is definitely a little bit harder. But, you know, it's a once, I don't want to say once in a lifetime, you know, because, okay, here we go. Our rares is a trap. Yeah, I mean, if you like the game, definitely try to make it to one of these events. It's good. It's nice to kind of just participate in something different, you know, like a big tournament. Different experience, you know, from your local stuff. If you're able to get to one, I definitely recommend going to a sector qualifier or even a regional. The regional next one is in Minneapolis. And that's going to be, I think, in May. Alright, War Juggernaut, the Tantive, got a hyperspace foil, Trace Martez, nice. And then we have a rare Radis. Oh, and a special Shuttle Tidarium. That was a good pack. I like those cards. 2 more packs to go. right. And then there was a lot of opportunity to trade too. If you wanted to trade, oh my god, this is our third Rio, but this one's a hyperspace at least. Nice. There's a lot of opportunities to trade. There's a few people going around asking if we had any trades that we were interested in. So people had their trade binders available. So I guess it's a good place to go trade and maybe figure out if there's something that you want. Oh, nice. A hyperspace Razor Crest. That looks nice. Then we have a rare Season Fleet Admiral. Oh, and a foil rare Rampart. Nice. All right, last pack. We got one legendary in this pre-release, which is nice. We have Wedge. I don't know how many packs I've opened so far, but no showcase yet. No showcase. Obviously, they're hard to pull. That's the point, right? Let's see here. Focus fire, please focus camera. There you go. Out of the airlock. All right, then we have our uncommons here. BB-8. Ooh, a Nabat. Nabat or Nabat? A village. Hyperspace. All right. Cool. What is our... Ooh! A Radiant 7. Oh, nice. Legendary. Man, 2 legendaries in this pack. And this last card is a foil Mandalorian. Good card, by the way. Putting this in a deck, I mean, if you're going to put it as a pilot, it just costs you 2 in a yellow, 1 yellow. You could exhaust the unit, which is pretty strong. Yeah. All right, so that's the packs for the pre-release. If there's anything else that I forgot, I'll mention it in another video or so. But I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on the Richmond Sector Qualifier. If you're able to participate in any of these, definitely try it out. It was a nice time overall. Definitely recommend it. So anyways, this is the video. Until the next one. See ya.